鹿児島県出身ヒューこと重留風斗さんによります風立ちぬ君たちはどう生きるかです。重留さん、よろしくお願いいたします。
皆さんこんにちは。
こんにちは。
鹿児島県姶良市出身のヒューこと重留風斗です。Le vent se lève, il faut tenter de vivre。これはポール・バルリーの詩「海辺の墓地」の一部を堀達夫が訳したものです。風っていうといいことが起きたりすると追い風と表現したり、逆に悪いことや困難が起きたりすると向かい風と表現したりします。そして自分の名前でもある風とも幸せな風が吹きますように、人に幸せの風を吹かせてくれるような人であってほしいという願いが込められています。さて、ポール・バルリーの詩を直訳すると風が吹いた、生きねばですが、堀達夫は風が吹いた、さあ生きようじゃないか、いやそうでもないかと訳したんです。これには今を生きる意志の強さと同時にその先にある不安を表しています。生きるのに疲れた、そう思った時によし頑張ろうと思える日もあれば、もう何もしたくないと思う日もある。その日をどう生きるかは皆さん次第ですが、今日このスピーチを聞いてよし今日から生きていこうと思っていただけると嬉しいです。よろしくお願いします。I'm tired of living. Have you ever felt that way? When you find yourself thinking like that, it might be due to unpleasant memories from the past, worries about the future, feeling unhappy today, or perhaps losing sight of yourself due to concerns about how others perceive you. I think most people here have experienced that, myself included. I care too much about what others thought. I should challenge myself more. I shouldn't worry about so much. It seems there are quite a few people who passed away while thinking such things. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, do what you want to do now. Accumulating such moments of now becomes your life. Focusing on the now allows you to not worry about others' perception or let go of unnecessary anxieties about the past and future. By the way, speaking of Miyazaki Hayao works, we mention wind. We have Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind and The Wind Rises. These two works teach us the importance of living in the present moment. In Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, the protagonist Nausicaa is depicted as a strong and kind-hearted girl. Above all, she is an impressive girl in her pursuit of what she wants to know in the present moment. What captivates her interest is the plants of Sea of Decay. Inhaling the spores, these plants can be life-threatening, so everyone wants to stay away from them. But she collected herself and observed them in her basement. She's crazy, right? But this is her way of life. She loved nature and believed any plant could coexist with humans. As a result, she discovered that the plants of the Sea of Decay had purifying properties. She lived in the moment and follow the voice of her heart. Also, her determination to live by what she believed was right is quite impressive. When facing a life-threatening situation, she doesn't hesitate to put her own life in danger if it means helping others regardless of whether they are friends or foes. Nausicaa stayed true to her voice, her beliefs, what others said around her, believing what she thought was right. In the final line of the 12-year running original work, Nausicaa said, 生きねば I have to live my life. I believe it conveyed the message of living each moment in this story right. Living without hesitation on what you can do now. On the other hand, the heroine, Nahoko, in The Wind Rises, suffers from serious tuberculosis. During that time, 1920s, tuberculosis was still considered an incurable disease with a high mortality rate. She was given a prognosis by a doctor and had no choice but to spend in the hospital for treatment. No matter how dire her condition became, and knowing she would eventually pass away, her lover Jiro decided to marry her and pledged to continue loving her. One time, unable to contain her desire to see Jiro, Naoko snuck out of the hospital and headed straight to him. Jiro then decided to spend her remaining time with Jiro. Days pass by with happiness, found in casual conversations, and feeling that everything is precious. Naoko chose to spend her remaining time with Jiro and to love him. And then she said, I suddenly feel I want to live. Thanks to you. With their time together limited, the two of them lived in the places they want to go. Spend their time with the people they want to be with. And share a kiss, prepare to accept the risk of tuberculosis infection. There may not be such a happy time tomorrow. Even with such thought, they loved each other enough to live in the past regret. How about you? How is what you are doing now really what you want to do? Are you living each moment of now with the feeling of another day has begun? What are you doing? Don't get ahead of yourself saying things like life is still long. A day has 24 hours. A year has 365 days. They say time is equal. But it's not. How much longer will your days continue? And how many more years will you live? The remaining time varies for each individual. The person next to you may have many more decades of enjoyment ahead. But how about you? How many more years will you live? The remaining time varies for each individual. You have no time to worry about what others think. You have no time to dwell on past regrets or worry about the future. Do what you want to do when you can, regardless of your age. If you follow your feelings honestly and straightforwardly, I believe someday, somehow, it will surely benefit others and make you shine. for those who feel uneasy about what they are doing and have anxiety about the future. Take a moment to escape from the past and the future. And then, try to embrace the idea. If you live in the now, life will somehow work out. Please think about something you've always wanted to do. Something you are excited about. Something you wanted to do, you want to try. I'm confident this will be tailwind for all of you. 風立ちぬ、いざ姫やも。もしあなたが明日死ぬとしたら、今日を、今を、この瞬間をどう生きますか？ Thank you for listening.
ありがとうございました。では、ブリー先生、コメントをお願いいたします。
Thank you, Hugh. That was a really beautiful speech. It should come as no surprise since I teach film classes that I also take a lot of messages from movies, and the messages you took from Nausicaa and Wind Rises about living for today I thought are really important. I've got another one to go along with that. Have you ever heard of Brandon Lee? He was the son of Bruce Lee. So in his final interview, he died while making this movie called The Crow, and the last interview he did, he didn't know he was going to die, but he said something very powerful and very similar to what you're saying. He said that because we don't know when we'll die, we think of life as an inexhaustible well. We think like it'll always be there. And yet, everything that happens to us only happens a small number of times. And I think your speech really illustrates that importance. In society, we're so worried about tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month, next year, right? Studying to get into a good school, graduating from college, getting a good job, having a family, saving for retirement. We're so worried about the future that we're not concentrating, we're not living in the present. And we never realize how fragile it is. I mentioned before that a good friend of mine died when I was 19. Another friend of mine died when he was 25. He just died of a brain embolism. My brother passed away about half a year ago, just very suddenly, and we don't know when we're going to die. And so it is important to take meaning in these small moments and to enjoy these moments. I'm going to give you another movie to recommend about this same theme. It's called Dead Poets Society. And the key message of that, Robin Williams tells his students, carpe diem, seize the day, right? Basically the same thing you're saying. Live for today because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's a very important message. Thank you.
Thank you.
では、次とコメントをお願いいたします。
さすがに映画の評論家みたいな説明でしたね。なかなかいいですね。紹介してもらえる映画また見てみてくださいね。はい、いや僕もね、明日未来って考えるのがちょっとしんどくなったんですけど、ついこの前ですね、僕いろんな今度市長選とか知事選とかね、いろんな選挙が始まるじゃないですか。だからいろんなことをもう僕なりにかっこいいこと言うんですよ。そうするとそんな言うんだったら選挙世界にデビューして立候補したらいいじゃないですかって言われたもんだから。もう後に引けなくなってね、分かりました。90歳になったら立候補します。してしまった90歳になるっていうのを心配して今から生きなきゃいけないのかなと思ったら、明日がない方がいいなと思い始めましたね。
今に候補した方が票もらえると思いますけど。
ですよね。だから今日からですね、君のスピーチを聞いてね、今日を生きることにしました。明日は考えないことにしました。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。